Okay, it's not too soon to be thinking ahead here a little bit. These are what I have for block planes. They're a Wood River garage sale and a couple of Lee Nielsen's. And believe it or not, this is one of my favorites. It just works. I don't even know what brand it is. Maybe a Stanley. It says 60 and a half. But anyway, when I stand this one up, this is on my tri-score set to 2 1/4 inches. It'll clear that. And the reason that that's important is because in this space, whichever one I choose, I think it's going to be this one. I have 9 3/4 inch here. And if you put in 3 dividers, 1, 2, 3, you say they're a 1/4 inch. It's a little less than that, but take 3/4 from 9 inches divided by 4. That gives you 4 spaces 2 1/4 inches high. And these two are about 2 inches high. This one's 2 1/8. Now, if I put them in the space on their sides, then there's no problem at all. I mean, that's a 1/4 inch below now instead of 1/8. So I'm going to take and divide this space between number 3 and 4 into 4 equal spaces, and that's where I'll garage my block planes. Front side, back side. Now these little tails that are sticking out here, I'll cut those flush, or nearly flush anyway. And then I've made tick marks. Let me pull this one out if I can. That's where the plane would stop, so I could take the cutoff. I'll draw a perpendicular line there, flop it over, and glue that in place. That'll be a stop to keep it going back too far. So I've got all of them marked. So the only one I won't have a piece for, let's see here. Will be the bottom one. If I could come up with something there. Alright, that looks good. So these are have to be cut to width. I wasn't thinking about that. So I'll cut these to width. Or maybe just a little shy. Alright, I'll take the dog for a walk here and come back, and that should be all set to go. The next thing to do is to worry about this drawer, or drawers. I believe it's just going to be 2 of them, but I'll think about that while I'm gone too. Alright, I'm going to take and divide this in 2, and I want it to be as close to half as I can get. So I took this out and measured from both ends and came up with this as being halfway for a piece of 1/2 inch Baltic birch. I then went to my table saw and took a piece of scrap and kind of snuck up on it until I got that line, and I've transferred it over here to the other side. And the waist is on the upside, so I made X's that way. I was thinking about just doing drawer runners and then finessing the drawers to make it work that way, but that involves making 2 cuts in each piece, and your margin for error goes up by 2 times. Okay, I'm going to do the side shelf, or the side first for the shelf. And I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is kind of start in the middle of the, not the middle, but to the waist side of the line, and then back up and get to it. And what I want to do is leave the line. And that's what I'll attempt to do on the other piece as well. That'll be a better way to go than getting this to fit just right, because this is not my actual piece. Okay, let's make a divider here. This one got a little deeper than I wanted, but regardless, it's going to get glued together, so that'll give it some strength. Alright, there's my width. Or length. I set my shelf length by coming to my stop and leaving just the tiniest bit of a air gap there. I mean, it's really close, but it's not touching, so it should be just a hair long. Squared up this end, I'll ripped it to 10 inches. Now we'll cut this off and see how close we come to fitting that. And it goes, but it's got a pretty good cup to it. So I had to take more off of than I wanted, really, but it kind of goes in like this. And you can see that I've got a little play here on the end. Just this little tiny gap, but that's the way it's going to have to be. So I need to face it off on the front side. It's very close to being the correct width. So whatever I put on the front, I've got to take off the back here. I've got to make sure that I keep it in this orientation, because I took more off of this side than this. So I'll mark this as top, going in that way. Alright, last night I made this shelf, faced it off, I should say. So, and I didn't have the camera going, but maybe you can pick that up. I've got 2 layers of edging there, because this first layer I put on, I went to trim it flush, and I was cutting it from this side, and it was too far inside, and I realized it before I got into my material, my plywood material. So I had to overlap another piece, and you can't pick it up here. I'm even having a hard time seeing where that cut was. Oh well, trust me. So you're never going to know that once this is in here, because this is just going to be a drawer divider. Your focus will be on the drawers. So, that's a later project. I don't have enough material for that. I don't have enough material for my plane till, which is going up here. So I need to get to the store and buy probably another sheet of 3/4, another sheet of half. I've got plenty of 1/4 inch for now anyway. So this is going to kind of come to a little bit of a standstill. But what I do plan on doing is, I got to cut this to width, is then maybe just gluing this up. There's really nothing keeping me from doing that. I can put the back on, the upper back, and the top, and basically this part of the case will be done. There's, you know, I can take my time and do that, get it all squared up, get these all glued in place, and basically get ready to go to work on the doors and drawers. So let me get this taken care of. Then I'm going to do a dry fit to see how everything goes together here.